Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about beginning an art journal specifically for self-reflection and also motivation. And while I'm doing that, you'll see me doodling in my own little sketchbook here. But those of you that know me and know my channel now have seen plenty of videos where I fill up a page with thumbnails, or at least fill up a little bit of the page, so that you can get a good idea of what it's like to actually have a sketchbook journal, or to kind of dust off the sketchbooks that you haven't touched in a while, and really start to go to town on sketches and reigniting your passion for drawing. So what I'm talking about today is in the same line as that, but we're going to go a step further, and you're going to have to make a commitment to yourself. While you're watching this, go grab your sketchbook, push pause, go grab your sketchbook wherever it's laying, and then come back. And then after you come back and you start sketching, don't let yourself only sketch for today. Instead, have this be the beginning of something really fun and really motivating too. The thing is, when we start something, we love the feeling of knowing where it possibly could go. But then fear comes in of, well, what if I'm not good enough? Or what if I don't have the patience to carry it out and finish what I started? We've all been there, right? We've been lazy, we've procrastinated, we still do that. And when it comes to drawing, man, you talk about that happening all the time. A lot of times older folks wish that they started drawing at a younger age so that it would just become second nature and there would be no thinking about it. But the truth is, there's always thinking about it, no matter what your passion is. And here, in a sketchbook, you can do a lot of stuff, such as doodling creatures, doodling characters that you've been thinking up in your head, and also world building. Speaking of world building, one of the coolest things about world building is that it's your world. It's nobody else's. And this brings me to today's sponsor, Bard. So you're probably wondering what Bard is. Bard is a place where artists can freely collaborate with each other. They can try new creative mediums and build communities without the influence of the content feeding algorithms seen on other platforms. Bard is run by just one person. Artists can infinitely and freely collaborate with all other artists on the platform. Bard supports visual, audio, and written artists. Bard is not interested in supporting NFTs and especially AI art, nor does it want to become an ad-based platform. Bard has plans to enable lightweight world building. So, any aspiring concept artists out there right now listening to this, please check out the link in the description below. If you're serious about world building and about building your own portfolio into something professional and fun and meaningful. A new feature just released is called Collections. This is where worlds that are being collaboratively built with the community. Owners are assigned to the world to manage what is canon in the world or not. Within the posts, you can clearly see creations inspired by Old Norse mythology. Svartalund is a land where the Norse gods have shattered into pieces and given life to a new world. The creatures, humans, and strange combinations of both roam through the land. I want to thank Bard for sponsoring today's video. Now back to drawing. So each day that you get up, just give yourself a goal of what you want to draw that day. It could be any subject at all. So one day it may be super soldiers from the year 2058. The other day it might be strange dog-like creatures from another dimension that somebody accidentally opened with a Ouija board. Just have fun with it. Write ideas down that you would like to sketch at a later time. We all have those subjects that we tend to stick to. And genres too. So dark fantasy, sci-fi, steampunk, straight up horror, macabre, anything that you could get excited about when you start sketching it. By the way, when you're watching me sketch this right here, notice how I'm just letting the pen flow freely across the page, and I'm not trying to get super amounts of detail right away. I think one of the reasons why people are afraid to draw a lot is because they're too worried about what it's supposed to look like or going to look like in a little bit or later on. And that's not the way to draw. You shouldn't be worrying too much about how it's going to look. Just worry about what's going on right now. Have you ever noticed that a lot of the sketches that you put in your sketchbook, your best ones, are ones that you really weren't trying hard to draw? You were just kind of doodling and letting your mind flow freely. Well, that's what you should be doing. So sorry about this. The page is shaking. I got like an air pocket underneath that. But think about all the sketches that turned out the best. And then what you do is you open up your sketchbook and you look at something you did 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, and then the sketches after that suck. And you're wondering how you're ever going to get back to that original magic. So what do? You just kind of reminisce about that one drawing you did on page 20, and everything else sucks, right? Okay. Allow it to be bad. Allow it to be good. But whatever you do, do not think that that is a one-off. Instead, just look at it as a story. That's why I always tell people that your sketchbook is your diary. I mean, look what I'm doing here. Like, I'm doodling this two-headed dragon. I thought that I was doing a hydra for a minute, but then I'm just kind of doodling this dragon, and I originally had an outline of one right here. This would obviously be one for a more detailed one. As a matter of fact, why not do that? Hey, how about you guys join me and watch me draw this? Okay, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the importance of starting that journal. When you start this journal, you got to do a couple things. One, you got to make sure that you date all of your drawings. Now, you don't have to. You may be able to group it together in a form of like 5 or 6 pages each week. But if you draw every single day, you're going to have a pretty hefty amount of sketches by the end of the month. I mean, think about that. You know, when I mentor aspiring concept artists, I tell them, well, we got to work on your line work. And I have them draw 500 straight lines like this every single day. You know, and they do 500 a day. At the end of the month, they're going to have about, 15,000 lines. And you'd be surprised at how many you can do in just a 10-minute period. But when you're doing these journals, just know that each individual sketch that you put down, you're getting better than your previous drawing that you did, or a whole set of sketches that you may have done the previous week. And that's what's fun about it. Not all the time. You're not always going to hit a home run. You know, when I was drawing this dragon head right now, I guess it's a dragon, I don't know, serpent if you want to call it a serpent. Originally I thought, you know what, this is actually kind of a good shape, and I didn't want to mess it up. But I'm also allowing myself to mess it up. One, I'm drawing with a pen, folks. There is no eraser. I can't erase anything. But what I'm doing is I'm just allowing, not necessarily my confidence, but I'm allowing my ability to just go with the flow and fail if it needs to, or succeed if it needs to see what'll happen. To me, that's what's fun about it. I'm not worried about perfection. I mean, I'm not editing anything out. You're seeing me draw in real time, and I'm just recording it. So there's going to be no fancy tricks. I'm not going to bring this into Photoshop or anything like that. Here I am trying to talk to you guys and draw at the same time. Please comment below if you have a specific idea that you want me to draw. I get a lot of figure drawing, so that is going to happen. I have a lot of ideas that I want to, or a lot of video ideas that I want to make sure that I get out on this channel, and I want to do everything at once, which is the big reason why I've upped the number of videos I post per week. I've been on kind of a roll lately, just because I feel like I have a lot to offer, and I want to get all these drawings out and these doodles out. And also, the main reason why I'm drawing every day now and I'm posting every day is to try to motivate all of you to draw every day. Have your journal. This is what this video is all about today. It's having that sketchbook ready for you guys every single day. Put it on your nightstand. Put it on your drawing desk when you wake up. Don't hide it. Don't leave it somewhere. Instead, have it be somewhere where you know you're going to have to sit down. It's going to pay off. It really will. Even if it's just 5 or 6 doodles per day. I understand that it's time permitting for a lot of you. If you have the luxury of working at home like I do, then you can just take a little break and start doodling. If you draw for a living, hey, even better. But still, maybe you don't want to draw the subject matter that you are for work. Maybe you want to do your own personal stuff. This is why I always love seeing art directors for games and film start posting their personal stuff, because I know how swamped they are worrying about their team and making sure everybody's happy and getting the artwork on time, having to be in 5 or 6 meetings in a row, which is detrimental to your health anyway. Kudos to you companies out there that have reduced meetings, because they are mental killers. I thought that I was accidentally drawing Smaug, but I changed the mouth a little bit. Smaug has that crazy dip in his entire snout. But this one, now that I'm looking at it, is I think I'm safe. Okay, there we go. The other thing I love about drawing with pen is the dark lines go over other shaded lines really well, and they show up. They don't bleed in with it. It's one of the advantages that you have with pen over pencil. But anyway, so your art journal. Okay, you're going to date all of your pages. You're going to write down the subject matters that you're going to tackle for that week. All 7 days in the week. Not 6, not 5, all 7. There's going to be no excuse. Give yourself an allotted time during the day where you know that you're not going to be distracted, and make sure that if it is during your lunch break or somewhere, in the daytime when you know you have to get back to work, just make sure that you're not going to be distracted. Now that the weather's getting nicer, you want to draw outside. That's the way to go. Next, and this is a big one, folks, write down your biggest fears and your biggest weaknesses when it comes to your sketchbook. Okay? What do you know that you have to work on? It could be perspective. It could be creatures. It could be anatomy. Maybe you're really bad at drawing hands. Maybe you have been trying so hard to get better at environment sketches, but you just can't get composition down. Okay. Well, maybe you're not looking at correct reference. Maybe you're not looking at reference at all, which you should be. Those of you out there that think reference is cheating, it is not cheating. So you need to stop that mentality right now. Think about all the things that you're bad at. Think about what you want to achieve in a month. Give yourself an end goal for the sketchbook. That's a big one. That's a big one. This journal is going to be your lifeline for your artistic career. I know I'm kind of speaking in broad terms now, like, dang, Bobby, you're just telling us to start one sketchbook. You're already thinking about a career later on. I'm like, yes, I am. Because you got to start somewhere, right? All of us artists had to start somewhere. All those really awesome artists out there doing stuff for games and film that you wish you were doing, they all started somewhere. They were doodling on napkins and homework and backs of cereal boxes. You can't stop doing this. If you really love it and you really want to get good at it, you can't stop it. And it all comes down to having that journal to do so. All right, we're just going to bounce around this page here. Sometimes I like to put some detail in some drawings and then all of a sudden scribble on some other drawings. This is the beauty of having a sketchbook. The other thing is, yes, this is going over top of a neck that I did not finish, and quite frankly, that's okay. I'm just exploring. I'm exploring shapes. I'm exploring new kinds of marks that I can make, and I'm just kind of allowing these shapes to happen, and I'm not really worried too much about finished results. It's actually kind of a scary face right there. You can tell where my mind is. You know, those horror movies that I do. Of course, I draw this stuff for a living too, so I guess I have to keep it going somehow. There we go. So maybe there's some small little claws coming out of these little holes in the body. There we go. I inadvertently drew some bat wings, or some kind of wings. I don't know if they're from a bat. We'll see if we can even those out. Maybe that one's a little longer than the other one. There we go. But anyway, art journaling, you can draw whatever you want. Just make sure that you keep track of your progress. Don't throw anything away. Don't cross it out. And don't worry about being judged. That's the thing. I think too many folks are worried about being judged for their creations. And I'm here to say that nobody's going to judge you for your doodles that you have. All right? It's like writers out there that have really good ideas for stories, but they just don't want anybody to read their stuff. Okay? Instead, embrace all of the little scribbles that you put in your sketchbook. Okay? Embrace the crazy ideas that you may have in your mind about this stuff. And doodle every single day. There we go. See how fast I did that, guys? I did that in no time because I'm not bogged down and worried about what you guys are going to see, let alone what anybody else is going to see in a year from now, 2 years from now. Like, it doesn't matter. Okay, this isn't an assignment. It's not for a client. Now, if you are doing work for a client, yes, you have to worry about how it's going to look, but at the same time, you also have to embrace feedback, and I think that's a whole other ballgame. That might be another video. Okay, how to accept feedback from other artists, constructive critiques, not that lame stuff that you see online all the time. This is why I warn aspiring artists that ask the public to tear apart their work. 99% of those folks have no business commenting on art. Just pick one or two people in the industry doing exactly what you want to do and ask them. Better yet, if you want to work at a specific company, ask the artist at that company, and they'll give you a straight up answer. I don't know what that is, but here's what we're going to do. We are going to number these. Okay, so we're going to number this. Get in the habit of numbering them. That's your next assignment. Okay, so let's go over today what we've learned. Art journaling. You're going to draw every day. You're going to date the page. Okay, today, April 7th, 2025. All right, right there. That's where I wrote it. April 7th, 2025. So when we watch this video in 5, 6, 7 years, maybe we can come back to it. We'll see what happens. But it's always going to be here. Number your work. Write down your goals, what you want to achieve in a month, in a week. Have that specific time allotted to you for your sketches. And the more organized you are, the less work you have to do. Remember that. Okay. So, go get that sketchbook that you've been procrastinating to draw in. Go get those pencils. Go get the pen. Drawing with the pen today. Bic ballpoint. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's a cheap pen. It doesn't matter if you spent $50 on the pen. A pen is a pen. It's just a tool. You can have an expensive tool, but you can be really bad at something. And you can have the most expensive drum set available, but you'd be a really bad drummer. Okay, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you're passionate and that you keep going. Okay, so before I jump off here, I do invite you guys to check out our Creature Design Workshop Discord. Check the links in the description below. Check out the first link that you get after the description for Bard. And I want to thank Bard for sponsoring today. So all of you, don't hesitate to message me in the comments, ask me questions, and I'll be glad to answer. All right. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully today was fun. Hopefully today was helpful. Hopefully today is going to motivate you to get that sketchbook out, that journal out, and start. See y'all next time. Peace.